Hello and welcome to Wet and Wild Wednesdays. I am so happy to be a part of this, and I am taking you through the journey as I make this fairy house. My theme is nature, of course. Thank you, Casey, my dear friend Casey from CWV Artistry, for reaching out to me about participating in this weekly event. I could not be more excited for all of the videos and all of the things going forward as we go from here. So today we are creating this fairy house, and as you can see here, I am just taking some air dry clay that I picked up at Walmart. This is Sculpey. You have long time to work with this clay before it dries. It does take quite a bit of conditioning to get the clay to kind of get out of that really damp moisture setting and get to the part of where it's going to be workable. I really enjoy using this clay. Most of the times I am using polymer clay that I bake. Like most of my earrings, I do polymer clay and I bake in a little toaster oven, but we decided to do fairy houses, and air dry clay is a little less expensive, it's a little cheaper, and it goes a lot farther. So sit back and watch the magic unfold. I do have to make one correction. The Walmart air dry clay is Sculpey, not Sculpey. Here I am just taking an acrylic dotting tool, this green little roller thing that I have to the right, to kind of smooth out the clay, and then I'm rolling the wine bottle back and forth to try and smooth it out as well. And I left the cracks that are going to be showing in this because I felt like it just gave it character. So now you are going to see me taking out my windows, and to carve this window out I use that little lid cap there to the left that you see. I did cut out the door earlier, but as you see as we move forward, I ended up putting the door back on and just keeping the outline. I do hope that you enjoyed Claire's piece as much as I did. What a wonderful job all of the artists are doing in this collaboration. I cannot wait to see all the pieces as we go forward. Thank you again, Casey, for including me on this wonderful weekly event. Here I am sorting some rocks that I am going to put around the windows and door frames. I got this little bag of pebbles at Walmart, I think for like $5, and they're flat, so they're going to make nice little accents around the windows and the door frame. Okay, now we are getting into the Colourarte products. I have pre-mixed some watercolor. This color is Golden Maple, absolutely one of my favorite golds by Colourarte. To make a watercolor, I used gum arabic from Colourarte, 4 ounces water, 1 teaspoon corn syrup, and equal parts of gum arabic and primary elements. The primary element is the golden maple. More Colourarte products, primary elements, spiced pumpkin, and Bling It Interference Gold. I'm going to just dust the outside of the bottle because the watercolor is still a little tiny bit wet. Such a beautiful color. And it's just adding just a little bit more to my finish, giving it like a multi-tone look. Here I am taking some Elmer's glue and some large gold flake glitter that I got off of Temu a couple months back. I tried putting it into my like pigments and it was so large that it didn't really dissolve, so I did not like to like break it down. So I figured that I have some solar lights that are attached to a wine bottle cap, and I want to put those lights down in the bottle, but I don't really have a scene going on inside. So I wanted to make sure that I kind of clouded the windows so it looks like there's something going on inside when there is actually not. I wanted to give it that magical illusion. So now we're going into some dusting with some eye candy pigments. We have Green Day and Nebula Green. And to make it a little bit more sticky and it adhere more now that some of the watercolor is drying, I added some Elmer's glue and spread it out. And now I am using a fluorescent color for when the lights are off in the cracks. It is from Techno Color, I do believe, and it is fluorescent green. No, it's Techno Glow. Gluing the windows and the door frames with the stones that I was sorting through earlier. This was a piece of netting that I had cut out off of an old dream catcher that I don't know, I think we got in a yard sale somewhere, but you know, no, I like to reuse things over and over, and to get this to stay in place, I added another ring of clay on top, smoothed it out, added my stones, and voila, we have a different type of window frame. Here I am going to add some more details to a different window. So the window frames I am painting with Purely Pigments Eggplant, and the snake that is going up the wine bottle as the stairs was air clay mixed with Primary Elements Plum Crazy. So here my partner is helping me make stairs for our fairy house. This is another wonderful purchase from Temu. It is a table saw, and again she is cutting each one of these down for me, and she's going to stain them, and then she is drilling holes in them because she is also taking skewers and cutting them down for me so I can make the handles for the banister to go up the wine bottle. I just had to throw this in here, mixing this Plum Crazy into the air dry clay. I love how it shimmers when it first goes on. It's so pretty, and it shows the absolute true color of the pigment. So this is where I was mentioning that I was putting the sticks in the little holes that she was drilling for me, and these were going to be our stairs. Again, the E600 glue is the best glue to use. You are going to want to put it on the back side of your clay. That is going to hold the stairs in place, and you're also going to want to put it on your stairs to hold them in place in the clay. It will just give your fairy house longer durability and longer life. Again, if you are sensitive to smells, you do not want to be in the room when this glue is open. Here I am sealing the rocks and the doors and some of the clay finish with U.S. Art Supply clay varnish. Now the fun part, making the mushroom top. Remember, you're going to use E600 glue for each piece of clay that you paste together with something else. So in this instance, E600 glue was put on both sides of the cardboard as I am blending the clay to make the mushroom top. Now this is the underscoring of the mushroom. I have turned the bottle upside down. In this little circle, I am going to put that little moon that you see there, and this is going to be the emblem on the door. The moon was a second half to a pair of earrings that I had made out of polymer clay, and one of the tips of the moons broke, so I decided, why not? Let's make a a crust to go on the door. Now here I've got the mushroom upside down again, and I'm going to give the bottom of the mushroom a little bit of sparkle. So I am going to use some abalone shell to dust onto the bottom of the mushroom, along with some of the Bling It Diamonds small flake. All of those, by the way, were Colourarte. The clip previous to this was me using more watercolor to do the mushroom top, which was Harvest Fire that I had created out of Primary Elements by Colourarte. Then I was putting the fairy lights on. Here is kind of like just a back view as you can see the progress going forward with the fairy house. I just wanted to take a step back for a moment. Now I am making a base for the fairy house to sit on. This was my partner's brilliant idea. She had cut out a little notch for the battery pack wires to come out and be able to climb up the back of the bottle without, you know, creating too much fuss, and the back would fit up underneath the lid because that was the lid that I covered with foil and then wrapped it in clay, and now I am painting it. This is color shifting paint from, I do believe, Folk Art. This is Green Flash, and then you will also see me use Green Red Shift. And here I am putting on some dots to the top of my mushroom in abalone shell first, and then that did not come after it dried. It was a little bit translucent, so then a little bit later you will see me add some extra stuff to give it just some extra pop. I am now adding some moss that I purchased from Walmart, and these little tiny mushrooms that you see, I am cutting the wires down a little bit and hot gluing them in around the fairy house. There is the little battery pack for the lights that I was talking about earlier, and it will seat, it will be glued to the bottom of the lid after I am all done with the process. And it will still be functional where you can change the batteries and everything. So here I am starting to wrap my twine to make my railing. I do go back and add a little dollop of E600 glue on each one after I have wrapped them all to keep them in place so they don't scoot up or down. Now, because my abalone shell did not pop so much earlier, I am now adding some Aquarius from Spacebeams. Now I am backing up to give you the overall view of the finished product. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. It was so fun creating this. So much fun. Please be sure, if you like this video, to like, hit that thumbs up, share it if you feel so inclined, and subscribe. I could always use the help. And here is what it looks like with the lights off. You have the lights on the outside these solar lights on the inside and the lights going down the stairwell do have the option to put it on a timer. And of course the solar lights would go off in the morning when the sun is out. All right, thank you so much for joining me. This was my first fairy house and first major project with clay. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did creating it for you. Until next week, we will see you soon. And remember, join us every Wednesday for our Wet and Wild Wednesdays. Namaste.